the horse farm. Saturday, July 20th. Which horse is that?
Rocky.
Okay, thanks. I always get Rocky. And what's the other one that's white?
Houston.
Lake or no, not Lake. I guess it's not really white. It's the one Jill
Quincy?
used. Yeah, Quincy. She's tried Quincy a lot. This is Rocky. Rocky's the one who always has a stain on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Always has the dirty smudge. Alright. See you later. I'm going to walk around. I do a little talk. Let's see. Alright. Today is Saturday, July 20th. That was Jill on Rocky, as you heard. It's a scorching day. It's 84, 85 right now, and it's 8:15 or so in the morning. It's supposed to be in the upper 90s to maybe lower hundreds. There's my daughter, Joy. Oops, it's so small. She's waiting for her lessons to start. Walking our dog, Baby. Today's crazy. Our teacher, or like I'm one of the kids' original teacher for their horse lessons is a guy named John, and Jill had John as her teacher since she was 5 years old until a year and a half ago when she was 11. So from 5 years old to 11, she had John as her horse riding teacher. Then he left. He said he was going to work in a different field, a little more stable, more money, blah blah. So John left. And I thought I saw his car this morning when we pulled in. He has one of those little tiny cars, Coopers. He has a Mini Cooper. And I thought, God, that's funny. Wouldn't that be funny if John were visiting today or teaching the class today? It's a private class, so they have the one teacher, Nina, now. So they got this teacher, Nina, after John left. And Nina's good. The girls like Nina. It was a big transition for them because, especially Jill, she does not like change at all. It was a big transition. So we got Nina. The girls got used to Nina. You know, John's gone. That's life. Blah, blah, blah. So I go in. John is there. John is back. After of course, now he's unreliable because he just up and took off a year and a half ago. There's no way the girls can switch back to him. He was cool and everything, but they can't switch back to John because he took off and they had to get all sorted with a new teacher. But he's back. He's decided he wants to pick up a few classes. I wish he'd never left. The girls really liked him. He's cool. But I guess that's how it goes. Sometimes we make mistakes. We have to rectify them. But I'm surprised he's back. It's kind of funny. But the owner had said when he left, she goes, "You remember a couple of years ago John took off and then he came back." She goes, "So Johnny, he kind of has a flip out and comes back sometimes. He's been here for years and years and years. So I suspect that's just he needs a break sometimes." He was here for I think a year straight before she had come. He left once for like maybe 3 months or something, and he had left before we had come in and come back. So that's kind of funny because I recognized his car and I was like, that can't be John. It's been like almost 2 years, like a year and a half. Yep, it's John. He's back. Oh well. girls are gonna stick with Nina. There's no way they could like jump ship. That'd be really crazy. Anyways, I'm at the horse farm. I don't know if anyone can hear the music in the background. They always have music at this one area right there. They always have music playing there. I don't know what the story is with that, but it's a little seating area, so they always have music playing there. That's they have big indoors for the horses, the stables. They have outdoor stables, which are in the shade, but they're kind of these open areas like that, like the little corridors. They have those stables, and then where the glass doors are, they have the indoor stables. It's really large. There's a whole nother section behind this building. And then we have the indoor barn is what I call it. I don't even know if you're barn or stadium. I call it an indoor barn. They have this large indoor barn where Jill's doing her lesson today. It's really hot out. And then all of the outdoor space over here. And I'm really surprised no one's riding this morning. It's usually this one guy from Europe who rides. And then there's a whole large outdoor area on the other side of the second building next to the barn. So we've been coming here for a long time. We're in Morganville, New Jersey. It's 12 to 13 minutes away from our home, so it's simple. It's just like a 12-minute drive. It's perfect. So I hope nothing ever changes here. The girls still enjoy the horse riding. They'll probably be riding for the rest of their lives, really. You know, girls love animals and they love horses. Jill wants to be a vet for now. I doubt she'll really become a vet. Not to be negative, but it's like all the girls who take horse lessons here and ride, they all want to be veterinarians. They're not all going to be veterinarians. I keep telling Jill that she should find a career or a path that's internet based so she can have a laptop lifestyle. Just have laptop, will travel. So I hope she's listening, because that's going to be the career of the future, to just work from wherever you want to be, from home, from vacation, travel to different countries and work from different countries. As long as you have internet access, you have your income. So I think that's the best. But that's me. Of course, I'm not talking about medicine right now, so I'll talk a little bit about medicine today. I like hot weather. It's really nice here in the shade. So let's see. As I spoke earlier this week, this is my third part on cystitis. Cystitis is a medical term for bladder infection. UTI is a generic term for an infection anywhere in the urinary tract system. So it could be the bladder, could be the kidneys. Ooh. Of course, the only problem with nature is bugs. I hate bugs. A bug on my leg. So UTI is a generic term for bladder or kidney infection or anywhere in between. And pyelonephritis is a medical term for a kidney infection. UTI is generic. So I'm speaking again for the third time on bladder infection, cystitis, and to give what I hope is a brief recap. Bladder infection, everyone gets bacteria rubbed into the bladder throughout the day. The question is, will it stay, build up, turn into a huge infection, or will your body be able to clear it? If you're drinking lots of fluids, you will often be able to clear it. If you're not, it'll be able to build up, and you'll probably end up getting a big infection. Of course, now the battery's low. My phone is just bad. I have to get my charger, or this is gonna go dead. So urine is sterile. Everywhere in our body is sterile. There should not be bacteria anywhere in the body except the intestinal system and the vaginal system. Those are the only two areas in the body that are supposed to have bacteria. Everywhere else is sterile. So if bacteria gets into the bladder, that's no, and if it builds up, it's going to cause an infection. Once you've had one bladder infection, it's easier to get more, because microscopic scarring occurs when there is an infectious process. It causes inflammatory changes. So you have to be even more diligent at drinking fluids, not holding your urine, clearing the urethra of bladder of bacteria that's had a chance to build up on a regular basis throughout the day. Signs and symptoms of a bladder infection are due to the inflammatory process with the bladder infection. Sorry, this is a wild presentation today. And those signs are inflammation causes spasming, cramping, and swelling of whichever organ or system it's in. So, urinary frequency, feeling like you have to urinate frequently, and then when you go, there's not much urine. Waking up at night to urinate, and that's because the bladder is spasming frequently, even though there isn't much urine in it. Blood in your urine because of inflammation and the blood vessels being fragile, bleeding easily. Feeling like when you start to urinate, the urine doesn't flow as soon as you want it to, or when you finish urinating, there's still urine in the bladder, it just hasn't completely emptied. Salut. Hold on a minute. Est-ce que tu as dit bonjour, John? Oh, génial, ça c'est génial, oui. Il a recommencé les classes. Est-ce que tu peux le croire? Peu à peu, exactement. Peu à peu. Il veut être un maître, je suppose. Il ne voulait pas continuer au passé. Maintenant, il veut recommencer. Il aime bien. C'est dommage. On ne peut pas changer maintenant. Non, et aussi, on ne peut pas avoir la confiance en lui. Il peut décider, il ne veut pas le faire encore une fois, oui, dans une année. C'est dommage. I'm sorry, I speak French with my kids. She's just asking if they're gonna go back to John for the classes. I'm like, of course you're not going back to John for the classes. He's unreliable now. He's already proven he took off. Anyways, so let me see. I think Joy is starting her lesson soon enough. Of course, she's just walking right now, so I'll give her a minute or two. So signs and symptoms of an infection are due to the inflammatory process and swelling and fragility of the blood vessels of the bladder due to the inflammatory process. So you're urinating more frequently than usual, and when you go, your bladder's not really full because your bladder is contracting, which is what it does when it's full, but it's contracting due to inflammation, not due to the bladder being full. So it's contracting frequently. You're feeling like you have to go, but it's not full. And then when it's time to urinate, there's a delay often between when you tell your body to urinate and when the urine actually flows because of the uncontrolled spasming. And when you finish urinating, there's uncontrolled spasming. So it still feels like there's urine in the bladder, even though there isn't. Blood in the urine due to inflammation and fragility of the small blood vessels, capillaries. And then, of course, because the bladder is spasming or cramping, that can cause back pain because the nerves from the bladder go to the lower back. If the infection ascends in towards the kidneys, it can cause more upper back pain, or back pain behind the ribs. So the back pain can worsen. It can also cause lower abdominal pressure, discomfort, and it can cause fever, chills, nausea, vomiting as the infectious process gets worse. small percentage of the time, someone's infection will be due to bacterial strains that are not sensitive, will not respond to the usual antibiotics. We call those resistant. They've been around the block a bit, they've morphed and changed, and they're no longer going to respond to the antibiotic that we usually use to kill it off. So in those cases, the culture with sensitivities is super important, because that's the only way we're going to know that this lady is not going to be relieved of her symptoms. She's not going to be treated, and that will allow the either those infections are cleared, and they're not going to be cleared with the usual run-of-the-mill antibiotic. They'll need a specific antibiotic. So I'm going to end there today. Sorry, it's been a long session because I've been ranting and chatting, and it's hot. I don't usually sweat at all. Now I'm glistening. It's warm. I think it's probably 85, 86 now. It's not. It's barely. It's not even 9 o'clock. So this New York City, you can just call for the walk-in hours. Come on by. We see people for I don't want to say urgent, but infections as walk-ins, or any quick problems that have come up. You want to be seen as soon as possible. Just call for the walk-in hours. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and we'll be back tomorrow, Sunday. It's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow. Take care. Thank you.